Welcome back to the Cybersecurity Cube section, right? We in the previous sections we discussed about the CIA triad and its states of data. That is second dimension of your cybersecurity cube. We'll try to discuss the third dimension of your cybersecurity cube, that is the cybersecurity countermeasures, that compares the types of cybersecurity countermeasures like technologies, policies and procedures, and how the peoples are get trained, right? So in this, the cybersecurity countermeasures, uh, the software safeguard, or we also say that the technologies which are used in cyber security countermeasure is software based technology safeguards. So software safeguards include programs and services. The safeguards includes uh, the programs and services. The services that protect the operating systems, any operating systems or your database, and the other service operating on the workstations or portable devices and the servers. So administrators install the software based countermeasures or safeguards on individual hosts or the servers. An individual host or the servers. So there are several software based technologies used to safeguard an organization's assets. Software firewalls control the remote access to a system. One is the software firewalls. The software firewalls are one of the software based technology which is used to control the remote access to a system. So the operating systems typically include a firewall, or a user can purchase or download software from a third party, is one. And second one is another software based technologies, network and port scanners discover and monitor open ports on a host or the server. Another software based technology is protocol analyzer or signature analyzers, which are devices that collect and examine network traffic. So they identify performance problems, detect misconfigurations, identify misbehaving applications, and establish baseline and normal traffic patterns, and debug communication problems. And debug the communication problems. And another type of software based technology is vulnerability scanners or computer programs designed to assess weakness on computers or networks. And another software based technology is host based intrusion detection system. The host based intrusion detection system, that is IDS, that examine activity on host systems only. So an intrusion detection system generates log files and alarm messages when it detects unusual activity. So a system storing sensitive data or providing critical services is a candidate for host based intrusion detection system. That, it looks like this in intrusion detection system. It is a hardware based technology. So the intrusion prevention system or intrusion detection system, which exists in between the internet or any LAN to the host. The host are the forensic analysis or alert administrator, so any of the hosts. Okay, so this sensitive data is used here. So in this intrusion detection system, there are several hardware-based technologies used to safeguard an organization's asset. One is firewall appliances block unwanted traffic, where firewalls contain rules that define the traffic allowed into and out of a network. So, dedicated intrusion detection systems detects signs of your attacks or unusual traffic on a network and send an alert to the administrators. Whereas intrusion prevention system detects signs of attacks or unusual traffic on a network and generate an alert and take corrective actions in intrusion prevention system, where content filtering, service control access, and transmission of objectionable or offensive content. So these are some hardware based technologies compared to your software based technologies. Okay, so another cybersecurity countermeasure in the technologies phase of your cybersecurity countermeasure is network-based technology safeguard. One is software-based technology safeguard, hardware-based technology safeguard, and network-based technology safeguard. So there are several network-based technologies used to protect the organization's asset, but one is the virtual private networks is an secure virtual network that uses the public network, that is the internet, and the security of your virtual private network lies in the encryption of your packet content between the endpoint and the define the virtual private network. So any endpoint they use the virtual private network, so they there is a one-to-one communication will be there. One tunnel is established between two devices. And in this network based technology safeguard, another technology is network access control. So in network access control, NAC, we say that requires a set of checks before allowing a device to connect to a network. So some common checks include up to date antivirus software or operating systems updates that is installed. And the third network based technology safeguard is wireless access point safeguard. So, this wireless access point security includes the implementation of authentication and the encryption part. So this is the third technology for the cybersecurity countermeasures. So as a cybersecurity specialist, they must follow the software-based technology safeguard, hardware-based technology safeguard, and network-based technology safeguard when the data is stored in the clouds like Google Drive or Dropboxes, right? So the another technologies we call the cloud based technology. The fourth one is the cloud based technology safeguard. So cloud based technologies shift the technology component from the organization to the cloud provider. So the three main cloud computing services that includes the software as a service, SaaS, we call software as a service. So this SaaS allows users to gain access to application software and database. So the cloud providers, they manage the infrastructure and users store data on the cloud provider servers. Another cloud-based technology safeguard is infrastructure as a service, that is IaaS. So this infrastructure as a service provides the virtualized computing resources over the internet. So the provider hosts the hardware, software, servers, and storage components. And the third service, the cloud-based technological safeguard service is the platform as a server, that PaaS is used. The platform as a server that provides access to the development tools and services used to deliver the applications. So these virtual security appliances runs inside a virtual environment with a pre-packaged hardened operating system running on the virtualized hardware. So this cloud service providers have extended these options to include IT as a service, that ITaaS, which provides the IT supports for your infrastructure as a service, or platform as a service, and your software as a service method models. So in this ITaaS model, an organization contracts with the cloud provider for individual or bundled services. So these cloud service providers use virtual security appliances that runs inside the virtual environment as set, right? So then the another part of your cyber security countermeasure, which includes the people, which includes the people, right? So that is implementing the cyber security education and the training. So investigating or the sorry investing a lot of money in technology which not make a difference if the people within the organizations are weakest link in cybersecurity. So a security awareness program is extremely important for an organization. So an employee may not be purposefully, malicious, but just unaware of what the proper procedure are. So there are several ways to implement a formal training program, that the onboarding new employees, or security awareness, in-person training or online training. There are several ways are there. So there are several ways to implement a formal training that make security awareness training a part of the employees onboarding process, or to the tie security awareness to job requirements or performance evaluations, or conduct in-person training sessions, or complete online courses. So the security awareness should be an ongoing process, since new threats and techniques are always on the horizon, right? So these are the few things one needs to take place in the countermeasure of your cybersecurity. That is the third dimension of cybersecurity cube. So in this education, awareness, and training, there is another way is establishing a culture of cybersecurity awareness. How? The member of the member of an organization must be aware of security policies and have the knowledge to make security part of their day-to-day activities. So, an active security awareness program depends on the organization's environment and the level of threat. So, the creation of cybersecurity awareness culture is an ongoing effort that requires the leadership of upper management and the commitment of all users and employees. So, affecting the cybersecurity culture of an organization starts with the establishment of policies and procedures by management. So, for example, many organizations have cybersecurity awareness days. So organizations can also post banners and signage to increase overall cybersecurity awareness. So the creation of cybersecurity orientation workshops and seminars help to increase the awareness. To increase the awareness. So what is that? To make that awareness, policies and procedures are most important. So cybersecurity policies and procedures. So in the policies, of your cybersecurity. I mean, as a countermeasure, a security policy is a set of security objectives for a company that includes rules of behavior for users and administrators and specifies system requirements. So these objectives, rules, and requirements collectively ensure the security of a network, the data, and the computer systems within an organization. So a comprehensive security policy accomplishes several tasks that it determines an organization's commitment to the security. It sets the rules for expected behavior. It ensures consistency in system operations, software and hardware acquisition and use, and maintenance. And it defines the legal consequences of violations. And the another task is it gives the security staff the backing of management. So security policies informs users, staff, and managers of an organization's requirements for protecting technology and information assets. So a security policy also specifies the mechanism needed to meet security requirements. So, yeah, as shown in this figure, you can see that the security policy typically includes the identification and authentication policies that specifies the authorized persons that can have access to network resources and outline verification procedures. Another policy is password policies that ensures passwords meet minimum requirements and are changed regularly. Another third policy is that includes acceptable use policies that identifies network resources and uses that are acceptable to the organization. So it may also identify the ramification for policy violations. And fourth one is remote access policies, which identifies how remote users can access a network and what is remotely accessible. Our fifth policy is network maintenance policy that specifies network device operating systems and end user application update procedures. And the sixth security policy, incident handling policy, which describes how security incidents are handled. So, one of the most common security policy components in a acceptable use policy, the acceptable use policy, the third policies. So this component defines what users can and cannot do on the various system components. So the acceptable use policy should be an explicit as possible to avoid misunderstanding. So for example, the acceptable use policy list the specific websites, news groups, or bandwidth intensive applications that users cannot access using company computers or the company networks. So this is the policies. Then now it goes through the some of the standards. So, what are the standards in the cybersecurity policy and procedure? Means the standards help an IT staff maintain consistency in operating the network, and the standards document provide the technologies that specific users or programs need in addition to any program requirements or criteria that an organization must follow. So this helps IT staff improve efficiency and simplicity in design, maintenance, and the troubleshooting part. So one of the most important security principle is consistency. So for this reason, it is necessary for organizations to establish standards, and each organization develops standards to support its unique operating environment. So, for example, an organization, if an organization establishes a password policy, the standard is that password requires a minimum of 8 upper and lowercase alphanumeric characters, including at least one special character, right? So a user must change a password every 30 days, and password history of 12 previous passwords ensures that the user create unique passwords for 1 year, like that. So these are some standards which are measured, right? So then comes to guidelines. So, in the guidelines are the list of suggestions on how to do things more efficiently and securely. So, they are similar to standards but are more flexible and are not usually mandatory. So, guidelines define how standards are developed and guarantee the adherence to general security policies. So, some of the most helpful guidelines make up an organization's best practice. So, in addition to an organization's defined best practice, guidelines are also available from the following, like the you may find the National Institute of Standard and Technology, that NIST, Computer Security Resources Centers, or the guidelines you may follow from these the National Security Agencies, NSA, that security configuration guidelines will be given, and the common criteria standards will also given by other the organizations. So here you can see using the password policy example, a guideline is a suggestion that the user take a phrase like "I have a dream" and convert it to a strong password by giving some lower letters, upper letters, and special characters. So the user can create other passwords from this phrase by changing the number, moving the symbol, or changing the particular marks. And then these are some policies. So in this policy and procedure, what are the procedures that one needs to follow? So procedure documents are longer and more detailed than standards and guidelines. So procedure documents include the implementation details that usually contain step-by-step instructions and the graphics. So in this figure, you can see this figure shows an example of the procedure used to change a password, right? So that is first, it is giving the procedure, press Control Alt Delete to bring up to the login dialog box, and then click on the change password, and so on. So large organizations must use procedure documents to maintain the consistency of deployment that is necessary for a secured environment. So these are the procedures. So this covers the third dimension of your cybersecurity measures. Third dimension of your cybersecurity measures. So I'd stop this session here.